Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Go Premanandi Jai Om Vishnu Paraparamhamsa Pariprachakacharya Ashtottara Swatasi Shiman His Divine Grace the Boy Charanaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Pratistha Acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Antakota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Gadadha Shiva Shari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana ki Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadip Shri Mayapur Dham ki Gangamai Jamunamai ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Tulsi Maharani ki jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glory to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Nitai Go Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, text 53 and 54. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Guru Pratishritam Shayam Haripati Anusurusaman. Okay, sorry. Yatat Shani Yatpata Priyam Priyam Cha Bhishma Shinyasya Panchalya Mayam Ivacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Guru Pratishrutam Satyam Yatachanta Vayati Priyam Priyam Cha Bhishma Shenasya Panchalya Maham Evacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Guru Pratishturam Satyam Yatha Shatsantat Pratapriyam Priyam Cha Bhishma Shenascha Shanyachalya Maham Ivacha. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Rama Bandhun Yatat Sambhata Priyam Priyam Cha Bhishma Shenasya Panchalya Mayam Ivacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Guru Pratisturam Satyam Bhimasha Panchalaya Mayami Vacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Tam Ya Priyam Priyam Cha Bhimashinasya Panchamalya Mahami Vacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Yata Chanvayata Priyam Priyam Cha Bhishma Shenasya Panchalya Mayam Ivacha. Mataji. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Guru Pratishtatam Satyam Yatat Sanivata Priyam Priyam Cha Bhishma Shenadam Satyam Cha Bhishma Shenadam. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Guru Pariksutam Sutyam Yatha Sanvata Priyam Kuru, abide by. No, that's right. Kuru, abide by. Pratishtutam, as promised by. Satyam, truth. Yatat, that which. Shantavata, while pacifying. Priyam, dear wife. Priyam, satisfaction. Cha, also. Bhimashenasha, of Bhimashen. Panchalyaya, of Draupadi. Mayam, unto me. Ebo, certainly. Cha, and. Translation and purport. By His Divine Grace, the Boy Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Arjuna, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna said, a friend of a Brahmana is not to be killed. But if he is an aggressor, he must be killed. All these rulings are in the scriptures, and one should act accordingly. You have to fulfill your promise to your wife, and you must act to the satisfaction of Bhimashina and me. Please repeat. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, said, O friend of a Brahmana, a friend of a Brahmana is not to be killed. But if he is an aggressor, he must be killed. All these rulings are in the scriptures, and you should act accordingly. You have to fulfill your promise to your wife, and you must also act to the satisfaction of Bhimashena and me. Purport. Arjuna was perplexed because Ashwatthama was to be killed, as well as spared according to the different scriptures cited by different persons. As a Brahma Bandhu, or a worthless son of a Brahmana, Ashwatthama was not to be killed, but at the same time he was an aggressor also. And according to the rulings of Manu, an aggressor, even though he be a Brahmana, and what to speak of an unworthy son of a Brahmana, is to be killed. Dronacharya was certainly a Brahmana in the true sense of the term, but because he stood in the battlefield, he was not killed. But although Ashwatthama was an aggressor, he stood without any fighting weapons. The ruling is that an aggressor, when he's without weapons or a chariot, cannot be killed. All these were certainly perplexities. Besides that, Arjuna had to keep his promise that he made before Draupadi just to pacify her. And also, he had to satisfy both him and Krishna, who were advising killing him. This dilemma was put before Arjuna, and the solution was awarded by Krishna. So here is a very complex situation. He has to Arjuna has made a promise to kill the Ashwatthama, and he's quoting the scriptures. Krishna is himself the supreme personality of Godhead. He's also quoting scriptures. Can't come up forward. Move everything forward. So these contradictory situations are coming up, so we have to deal how we have to deal with them, how we should learn to deal with them. These complex. So I'll read something from Srimad Bhagavatam, commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The Lord said, one should not kill a fallen Brahmana, but an aggressor should be killed. But please follow both these injunctions established and in the instructions by me. Oh, no Brahmana should be killed, but Manu said that if an aggressor approaches with the desire to kill, he can be killed, even though he is learned in the Vedanta. Follow both of these instructions ordered by me, the maker of the instructions. Since Ashvatthama is still considered a Brahmana, and still he is not an aggressor, because he does not have a weapon in his hand, he should not be killed. That is my opinion. I told you previously to kill the fallen Brahmana, but that was only to test you. And therefore you did not kill the fallen Brahmana, but freed him. Then I have said that the knower of Dharma does not kill the enemy who is frightened or without a chariot. Without a chariot, and also I have said it's best to kill him, but he does not. But do not be the cause of killing him. His killing should be taken in the form of his being bound up. This is the real meaning of my words, Krishna is saying. You must fulfill your promise to Draupadi. You must, so that he can be pacified. You must also act to please me, Draupadi, me, and the others. So these questions, why there are different equilibrial suggestions coming up here. So one pointed out in the 34th chapter, seeing Arjuna was seeing that Arjuna, having forcibly bound him up with ropes, he wanted to bring him back to the enemy camp. And the lotus-eyed Krishna became angry and spoke to Krishna. So although it says Krishna here was angry, he also described he had lotus-like eyes. So he said we can, thus his anger was only external. He was exhibiting anger, but it was external. And therefore his eyes were at lotus. Arjuna was exhibiting anger also, but his eyes were fiery, like fiery copper balls. So both were different. Krishna's had lotus eyes and Arjuna had red copper eyes. So it means that for Krishna this is his pastime. This is his pastime. Now why? Anyway, I can't see that. But the idea was that Krishna, he was testing Arjuna and see what was his decisions. So therefore, Krishna was showing these symptoms like having lotus eyes, and simultaneously he was showing prowessness and ordering and to kill and things like that. So this is the pastime of the Lord. These different rasas are being churned up. So it was for Krishna. He was churning the rasa. This is Krishna's business, enjoying rasa in different relationships. So he was Vira Ras. He was very heroic. He was very so he was enjoying these sentiments because he has a relationship with Arjuna as chivalrous, in the chivalrous nature. That's the pastime. So therefore Krishna is seeing it like he has lotus eyes, just like when Kubja came, met Krishna, and she were on the street, and Kubja, she was made into a beautiful woman, and she was grabbing Krishna's cloth, and so Krishna was with some of his friends. Look, it's the Hasya Rasa, a laughing rasa is going on here. Don't you see? So the laughing rasa has come. So Krishna was teasing her. You know, you're a very beautiful girl. We're young boys. We're away from home. We are lonely. And so Krishna was making it into a Hasya Rasa, a laughing rasa. What? Not audible. Well, the microphone coming in closer. Oh, and I got this. Should I take this off? Hare Krishna. So okay. So Krishna, he saw that as a Hasya Rasa, so he was joking with Kubja in front of his friends. So it was that was the mood at the time there. So Krishna saw these different situations when they appears. So Krishna is Rasaraj. He gets the rasa from any situation he can. So Krishna, he wanted Arjuna to give the conclusion, and the reason was that he wanted the world to know that the Vaishnava, or at least, and the Vaishnava devotees, they will always have the proper siddhanta, so they will get the glorification. So this is why Krishna wanted Arjuna to come out with this conclusion, to show to the world how great the Vaishnava philosophy is, that it can satisfy all demands. There was how the Vaishnavas are expert in everything. There was one time Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was on the Japa walk, universal Japa walk, and Yamaraj and Ochipa were having a discussion, and they was saying, now in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that if the person commits abominable activities, but he is engaged in my service, he should be rightly situated. He should be a sadhu. He should be respected as a sadhu. So then after that, Krishna says, declare it boldly, Arjuna, my devotee never perishes. Very rapidly, very quickly, he becomes righteous, dharmic. So first Krishna is addressed as being saintly, sadhu, shaduiva. Sadhu means transcendentalist, beyond the modes of nature. And very quickly he becomes righteous. Righteous means dharma. But already Krishna said he is sadhu, shaduiva, he's already a sadhu. Now the next shloka, Krishna says that he'll become, very quickly he will become dharmic. So they couldn't understand this, why Krishna is saying like this. Bhagavad Gita. So then they saw Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This story was told by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was doing japa walk, universal japa walk. So they were having, Yamaraj and Shiva were having this discussion, and then they saw Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or is a Vaishnava coming, he should know. They called him. We have this problem. What is the correct Siddhanta? You're a Vaishnava, we trust you. So they explained why Krishna was first he addressed as Sadhu, transcendental, and after that very quickly he becomes righteous. That means a mode of goodness, not even transcendental. So how is he's giving, it seems like a... So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said that very quickly he becomes righteous, that even though he's committed so many sins, he'll become righteous. He'll become sadhu. Even if he's considered to be very sinful, he should still be considered a sadhu because he is still situated in his devotional service. He's not. So he should be considered sadhu, and very quickly he becomes righteous. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, when he says this, very quickly he becomes righteous, he's talking about another person who criticized someone who fell down, the saintly person who fell down. Another person is that he criticizes. He falls down. But very quickly he becomes righteous, he becomes dharmic again. So he gave the solution. The Vaishnavas always have the correct solution on everything. So there are different so that was Krishna was saying, let Arjuna set the standard. Arjuna, he was not a yogi, a politician or a jnani. He was Krishna's friend and devotee. But Krishna showed him that let Arjuna set the standard. So what is the Vaishnava's conclusion? That will always be glorified as being the best. So Arjuna did that. He satisfied all their desires by cutting his hair and his jewel and his... So it's two great wars in India, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. In both of these wars, the hero was a Vaishnava. The Mahabharata was Arjuna, the hero, and Ramayana, Hanuman. So both were Vaishnavas in the two great world wars that we have information of here. So So these different contrary things pop up, just like when Krishna, he wanted to perform the Maharash. Moon was rising, so Krishna was playing on his flute and he was calling all the gopis. And then they all gathered where Krishna was, and Krishna, he asked them, what are you doing out at night? There's young girls, it's very late, there's so many foxes, jackals, night creatures are lurching around. What are you doing in the night time? So Krishna started to speak to them very formally. They didn't like it so much. But he said, actually, you better go home. It's dangerous here. Your family members are there waiting for you. Some of you have small children. So they didn't really like Krishna's free advice. But then the gopis said that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can do anything you want. That is your prerogative. You can do anything you want. So this was like a rasa bas. Krishna and the gopis have come out to dance. They're young boy, young girl. It's parikya ras. It shouldn't be happening. And it shouldn't be happening. But anyway, the gopis, they said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why should they say that? They came out to dance with Krishna. They're lovers. They have husbands. So why did they say that? It was a rasa bas. They were supposed to be young girls and coming to see their lover. They said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can do whatever you want. That is your... So you see, they didn't hesitate. Because of the intensity of the immediate feeling of that Krishna, actually he will be separated. Krishna will actually send us home. So the separation was so great, they didn't hesitate to say anything to keep Krishna there. This was their love for Krishna. They didn't hesitate. But you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because their separation, the feeling of separation was very imminent at that time. And Krishna was going to send us back home, and our desires will be frustrated. So like that. We see sometimes these rasa basis going on, the mixing of rasas. But it's all increasing, ultimately it increases the love of Krishna. Also when at Kurukshetra, when Krishna met the gopis there, and then he gave them information, he gave them gyan, that he said, my dear gopis, my dear friends, you should know that separation from us is impossible at any time, under any circumstance, because I am all-pervading. So there is no separation. I am everywhere. It is Gyan, Brahma Gyan. Brahman is everywhere. And so the gopis were criticizing Krishna. That when they were at Kurukshetra. First, he said, when you went up, you sent Uddhava with a letter teaching us to practice Gyan, to become Gyanis, to see how the Lord is omnipresent. He's everywhere. You feel Him everywhere. You're teaching us Gyan, and now at Kurukshetra, you're speaking to us and you're saying that you should practice yoga, you should meditate, close your eyes, you should meditate on the Lord. He's in the heart of you and everyone, so you won't be separated. So the gopis were complaining to Krishna. First you teach us Gyan, and then now you're teaching us yoga, saying we should meditate on Krishna. We do nothing but meditate on Krishna anyway. We're always thinking of Krishna. This is not proper for you, Krishna, to treat us this way. We're accustomed to loving you from the very beginning of our lives. So it's not proper for you, Krishna, to treat us like common Gyanis and common yogis. We are your eternal lovers. So, like that, the Lord does things to test His devotees, how much love they have for Him. Just like Prahlad. Lord Sringadeva asked him, "What can I do for you, Prahlad?" And Prahlad said, "Don't deceive me, my Lord. Don't deceive me. My father had everything, and he lost it in one moment. He lost everything also. So don't deceive me by asking me what you can do for me. I'm your servant. I will only perform your service." So today is also we have that incident about Ramahashana Shruta. This is Ramahashana Shruta is speaking here now. And his father, Ramahashana, he was sitting on the Vyasasana giving a class. And then Balaram came. Everybody stood up and welcomed Balaram. But Ramahashana was thinking, well, I'm sitting on the Vyasasana. They've invited me to the Vyasasana. Generally, it's not necessary for this speaker to get off the Vyasasana for someone else. So he didn't stand up when Balaram came. Everybody else stood up and offered him obeisances. So then he didn't stand up. So Balaram was considering his pratiloma, mixed marriage also. Father was one caste and his mother was another caste. So Balaram thought, he doesn't know this purpose of the scriptures properly. Yet he's sitting there, he's going to speak, so better that he doesn't speak anything. So with a piece of kusha grass, he cut off his head. Very, very uncommon weapon. One piece of kusha. That's sharp anyway, but he won't cut your head off. But with his one stroke, he cut his head off from Mahashana. So then all the Brahmanas are up and, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done? We gave this Ramahashan our blessings to have full strength of senses, long duration of life, not feeling any weakness, hunger, thirst. We gave all these benedictions to him, and we're Brahmanas, so they have to become true. Now simultaneously you've killed him. So how can they come true? So what was the solution? First of all, he said, if you like, I can bring him back to life again. Just to show his potency and power. He could easily do that, bring him back to life. And I said, no, because you already said that, you already uttered, you already killed him because you thought he should be killed. So that should remain as it is. But now somehow or another you've got to make sure our blessings do not go in vain. So then Balaram, being very expert, he said, okay, then I'll transfer all those blessings you gave him to his son, Shuta Goswami. That's Shuta. Sutta Goswami. I give all the blessings and old age and benediction, not the old age, freedom from old age, and all the benediction for his son, Sutta. So in this way he satisfied everyone by his intelligence and proper understanding. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Today is also the disappearance day of Govinda Ghosh. Govinda Ghosh he's here. He is about on the way to Katwa, near Katwa. Huh? And the place is named Agradeep. And there is a big mela there today, a big fair. Thousands of people will come and they celebrate this disappearance of Govinda Ghosh. Ghosh means cowboy, it looks after cows. Krishna is a Ghosh. Say Nanda Ghosh. So many villages of Ghoshis in this area. So many, in all over it, but especially in this area. So many Ghosh villages. So they all come out, the whole village comes out, they get a truck and they all stand up on the truck and they go to Agradeep. And that they perform the Shraddha ceremony for Krishna, or Gopinath. He performs the Shraddha ceremony for Govinda Ghosh. So, when Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, and some devotees were with him, and they came to Agradeep, and took some meals and took some rest, and Mahaprabhu took his meal and he said, Haritaki. You want some Haritaki? It's a little fruit, you dry it in the sun and it's very good for digestion, so you can eat Haritaki. It's for digestion. Maybe you know Triphala. It's three Haritaki, Boria, and what's the third one? Huh? Amlaki. As you go to the Ghosh Gurukul, that road there, some Amalaki trees. Anyway, it's a famous Ayurvedic medicine. So anyway, he wanted some Amalaki for Haritaki for his digestion. So immediately Govinda Ghosh, he ran around, went to the near village, and he come back and he gave Mahaprabhu's Haritaki. So he took it. And Haritaki. Next day, they stayed there a couple of days. Next day, Mahaprabhu took his meals and he said to Govinda Ghosh, Haritaki, I want some Haritaki. So then Govinda Ghosh bought some Haritaki. So Mahaprabhu said, I asked for Haritaki yesterday and it took a long time. And today I asked you for Haritaki and it's very quickly. Why is that? He said, well, I got a bit extra yesterday because I thought you may be needing some today, so I got some extra and I kept it for you so you can take today. And Mahaprabhu said, oh, you like to hoard things. You want to hoard everything. I think you should stay in this village and get married. Because you're hoarding everything. And of course he had to follow the instruction of Mahaprabhu. So he stayed in that village, Agradeep. And he had a son who used to help him in his puja. But then his son died at a very early age. Then first his wife died. And just after that his son died. So Govinda Ghosh was very angry at the situation. He was so angry, in a fit of anger and rage, he just closed the doors and he went, laid on the bed, and he didn't do anything all day. He didn't eat himself, he didn't cook himself, he didn't cook for Gopinath. He didn't do anything. And then towards the end at the end of the night, or the end of the day, Gopinath went into Govinda Ghosh's room very carefully, approached him very carefully, and he started to massage his feet very gently, because he was in an angry mood. So he was massaging his feet very gently. And he said, "I don't understand your intelligence. First one of your sons dies, and now you try to kill the other one." So Govinda Ghosh, "What is it? I only have one son. Are you saying I'm killing two sons?" He said, "Well, every day you cook for me, every day you're dressing me, you're bathing me. Are you not my son?" He said, "Anyway, who will do my pinda?" Pinda you're offering to the forefathers. The Veda says one should have a son for this purpose only. Have a son, get married, have a son, and then he will deliver you when you leave this body. He will offer pinda and grains to the deceased, and they will become delivered from any unfortunate situation they may be in. So it's very strictly followed by Hindu custom. So he said, "Who will do my pinda? I have no son." The son is supposed to do it, the eldest son. "I have no son." So they can go with that, Gopinath of that is the temple there, Govinda Ghosh's temple. And then they offer the Gopinath, the ceremony. Yeah, thousands of people. And they're all doing, there's different groups, there, owls, bowls, different sampradayas, but they're also coming and chanting there. Govinda Ghosh is famous for his singing, chanting. The three brothers actually, three Ghosh brothers, Vasu Ghosh, Govinda Ghosh and Madhava Ghosh. They were expert musicians and expert in composing songs. In the spiritual world, in Krishna Leela, they took the role as Rasulasha, Tungabhadra, and Rasulasha, Tungabhadra, Everybody knows? One more? Anyway, maybe I wrote it down. Kalavati. Kalavati, Rasholasha, and Gunatunga. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that they were direct expansions of Srimati Radharani's body. And in the spiritual world, Vishaka is very expert composing songs which he would give to Rasolasa and Kutunga Vijay. They would sing the songs of Vishaka's compositions. And there goes brothers there, they're in their Krishna pastime. These three would sing all those songs of Vishaka Devi. And they were dancers for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Jagannath Puri. Wherever the dancing was going on, Govinda Goswami. His brothers, they were there, especially at Rath Yatra. They were divided into different groups, and generally they would always be the lead singers. And Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu would always dance in their groups to their singing. And what else? Mahaprabhu would praise them like anything. How do they get such sounds? We never heard such sounds before. How did they? These sounds must be from the spiritual world, Mahaprabhu was saying. Otherwise it's just, but how come it's just some sounds have such feelings, such emotion? So that was their seva. They were singers and dancers, and also composing songs. Shri Govinda Ghosh Tirupava Mahotsav Titi Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shambheta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Any comment? Question? Okay, it's 9 o'clock on the dot. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Thank you.